7:55.
The following is a production of KTCA, a Minnesota original.
Warning. The following program contains material which some viewers may find offensive. Well, that's your problem. But the real problem which this show attempts to examine is of serious concern to literally dozens. Total and consuming obsession with a television celebrity. Actually, we've only come across one person afflicted by this deadly syndrome, but God, was he pushy. What follows is his story. This television station is completely irresponsible for the content of this program and produced it solely in order to get this guy off our backs.
Oh, Mary Tyler Moore? Oh, that woman could turn the world on with her legs. Smile.
Who can turn the world on with her smile?
You can have the town, why don't you take it? I really like that attitude.
Well, it's you, girl, and you should know it. With each glance and every little movement you show it.
She's the kind of woman who can take a nothing day and make it all worthwhile. Man, who needs it?
You're gonna make it after all. You're gonna make it after all.
What's wrong, Mary? You seem upset. Mr. Grant, you took 3 servings of the veal. Yeah? Mr. Grant, there are 6 people. You took half. You mean that that's all there is, what's on this platter? Yes. Mr. Grant, you've got to put some back.
If you're like me, you've probably seen these shots hundreds of times. You've taken out-of-town visitors to the places where they were filmed. Maybe you visited them alone yourself in a moment of private reverence. But it's these opening moments, what we Mary experts call the frames of the gospel, that anchor this show so clearly to this town. Look, see Mary in an undisputably Minneapolis elevator, clutching a real Minneapolis newspaper. Look, there's Mary crossing the Nicollet Mall, ideally to a better clothing store. Wait a minute, freeze that, hold it. See, her feet do not touch the ground. Proof that she is the saint. You know she is. See her stride perkily along our very own lakes. With those legs, she could do Lake of the Isles in 10 minutes flat. Look, there's Mary wearing the numbers of Fran Tarkington, like a real, true Minnesota woman, all of whom love football. Behold, she shops at IDS, just like the rest of us.
The opening credits were shot here in Minneapolis, and we're going to go back to those locations, because you can learn so much from those spots, so much about the town, so much about Mary. So, we're going to be going to the spot where she stood and tossed her hat. We're going to be going to the building where she worked, the house where she lived. And, if we're lucky, we're going to figure out the identity of that mystery woman who stood behind her, you know, with a foul look while Mary stood and threw her hat. I mean, what was that woman's problem? I mean, if I was there, I'd stand next to Mary, not over there, and I wouldn't be looking like that. I'd be, try to hope that she brought her arm down and maybe it hit me or something, or pick up the hat if she dropped it. I wouldn't be scowling like some creature with webbing on my hair, an inverted triangle for a face. I mean, what a pinched, awful, humorless life she must have led. There are questions that I want to get out there right away and start to figure out things that have been plaguing me for for a large portion of my life. Like women in this town, when, if you actually meet one of them, you actually go out on a date, they say they like Mary. They say Mary's a role model, but let's say, if you actually get one of them to even sit down with you at lunch and you talk about Mary the whole time, they act like you're crazy when you're not. And we'll be talking to people who are nothing like Mary at all, like my mother. I mean, if you want to find somebody who's nothing like Mary, I mean nothing at all, it'd be my mother. So we'll be doing those Mary things and talking to people about Mary and going places.
Is that okay? Before the search officially began, I did a sort of screen test with the TV crew.
Sorry, Jen.
The best take I've ever seen.
I guess they were pretty impressed with my on-camera professionalism, and they certainly met my expectations of being everything that a television crew ought to be.
James, you were great. You were really, really great. No, that's okay.
Thus assured, the Channel 2 crew and I headed to Mary's house. The house, as any Minneapolis resident worth his salt knows, is just a stone's throw from Lake of the Isles. You can't miss it.
There! That's it! That's it!
Who can turn the world on with her smile?
Oh, that's the house we stopped for directions. Oh, okay. Okay, go up real fast and then take a left. Speed up, take a left.
Says the man with the Mary dowsing rod. M, breadcrumbs. You got any?
No, I don't
Won't get lost in Kenwood that way.
No, Johnny, croissant crumbs.
Yeah, right.
There's no time to eat. There, that's it, that's it.
You can take a nothing day and suddenly make it all seem worthwhile.
No, sorry.
Well, if they put a balcony on it and painted it white or something. Is there a school around here somewhere? Because, at the end of the credits, at one point, she was leading some kids across the street and shit.
It doesn't mean that they shot the scene by her house.
Okay. There! That's it!
No, that's not it.
It is gone, then, this link to the past, this anchor to the world that once was. A telling comment, perhaps, on a city so obsessed with the lure of the new that it has no time for its own past. Or perhaps it is around here somewhere, inscrutable behind a hedge. That in itself a sign of that Scandinavian need for privacy, that continual shielding of the self from the prying eyes of the public. So the house is gone, lives only in memories. What if... what if it were to suddenly reappear? Let's got it.
It's $5.
Oh my God!
$5? What are you putting new shingles in the thing? Are we paying for your sighting? I don't have $5. Anybody got $5? Thank you. Excuse me. Public television. Excuse me. I love what they have done with this place. I mean, it's a little more spacious, I think, granted, than we all would have thought it was going to be. But the essential tidiness of Mary is here. The cleanliness, the Spartan decor, the certain lack of unnecessary accoutramental detail, I think, lends a certain era of clean merriness to it that you otherwise would not have gotten if there had not been... I think we got the place to ourselves. Somewhere around here is Mary's basement. We never saw the basement in the show. We're going to find it. We got to find out what was downstairs. If I can just find the door clearly marked, basement. Come on. It's handy, I guess.
As the search continued, I began to feel some anxiety about what Mary really means to this town.
But at least it's the kind of winsome, endearing anxiety Murray the writer used to have when he was in need of some reassurance. I mean, why take my word for it that the Mary Tyler Moore Show means anything? I mean, we need the opinion of an expert. We need to know there was something here so deep, so profound, that only someone heavily tenured could see it.
We found our expert in Professor Ariel Dumont, who teaches a class in Marxist perspectives on situation comedies. Professor Dumont, author of the seminal work Thesis, Antithesis, Synthesis, Three's Company, had some interesting ideas.
Professor Dumont, the Mary Tyler Moore Show began in the late 60s. Now, do you see any evidence of the radical politics of that very turbulent decade in this program?
A blind fool could see it.
So you're saying, yes, you see evidence of the politics?
All of television is inherently political. The case can be made, indeed, I make it in my book, that Hee-Haw was an attempt to choke the growing agrarian populist movement right in the cradle. But few are as obvious about it as MTM. Well, think of it as the ultimate capitalist parable. Lou, the boss, the patriarch, if you will, clearly management, but lovable. Ted, the worker, the common man, is a buffoon. Clearly, the message is, labor only survives by the grace of management.
Well, what about Sue Ann, the happy homemaker?
Sexual promiscuity is usually a metaphor in television for unregulated trading policies. We laugh at Sue Ann, we smile at trade with the fascists. It's all part of the same ethical matrix.
What about Murray? Old, sweet Murr.
Murray. Murray is Lenin.
No.
Look at the hairline. By casting a man with Lenin's hairline and making him a joke slinger, a sensitive little wet ball of wool, they take away the steam, the anger, the fascinating violence of Lenin. Not so obvious that it hardly bears mention.
Well, finally, then, what would you have to say about Mary, about our mayor?
The workers' paradise. Just kidding. No, Mary, through her wardrobe, legitimized conspicuous consumption.
I see. Well, Professor Dumont, it's very fascinating, and I'd like to thank you. It's amazing how you see these things.
Well, if I didn't, no one else would.
Well, as you can tell, I've got my finery on tonight. And that's because we've got a special treat. We're going to go grocery shopping, but not at any grocery store. We're going to one of the most trendy, vital, cultured, vibrant grocery stores in the entire Twin Cities, where Mary used to shop. I know what you're thinking. Mary was a simple gal with simple tastes, but after all the dull dates that she had, she needed some excitement, and this was the place. The issue we're trying to settle tonight is something we'll call for our purposes the ground chuck of discontent. I mean, you've seen the film clip. I don't think I've ever seen Mary look so existential. I mean, what question was she posing of God? Why the heavenward look? Had she come looking for fish, but somehow given in to the base carnality of meat? Was the meat too lean? We don't know, but I want to find out. There are some who say that it wasn't actually meat that she was throwing at all. It's buns. Well, we took that film and we subjected it to careful digital analysis in several costly California labs. And after frame-by-frame evaluation, well, they decided it's not buns, folks. The verdict is meat. Hi. Excuse me, can I take this one out? Thank you.
Mr. James Lileks.
Well, this is a find. We were down the aisle tossing a little meat of our own, and what do we find but the guy who was...
Oh, yeah. I was just a kid, an apprentice, and, I come into work one day, and they tell me you're going to be cutting meat for Mary Tyler Moore. Right. I sliced a finger chopping the first pound.
I'll bet you were nervous.
No, I'm just a bad butcher. I've never really gotten the hang of knives, I'm sorry. I almost sliced this one off with the knuckle just before you got here.
Well, why then the choice of you to cut the meat for Mary?
Well, jobs were on the line, and they figured if somebody had to take a fall, be fired, might as well be the new kid.
Yeah, well, things, I guess, were tense.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mary, Ms. Tyler Moore, she wanted the patties to be perfectly circular. Yeah. And, of course, when you're hand-forming meat patties, they tend to be irregular, and everybody knows, almost elliptical, you might say.
Her expression, then, in that take?
She was ticked. She was really ticked. They did a take after that where she just, she just took her arm and right across the shelf, knocked everything right on the floor.
What happened to the meat that was used in that shoot?
Bruised beyond use. Oh. Yeah, meat can only take so much punishment. Oh. And some of the guys picked up the patties off the floor and had them laminated, used them for paperweights, and I guess a couple of years ago sold them to some private collectors.
Really? Either of those guys on duty tonight?
They retired on that deal.
You must have kept one for yourself, at least.
I fried it up with onions and ate it. I don't even like onions. I was in a very self-destructive phase of my life right then. Oh, jeez. No, it's all right. It's not deep. It's not deep.
Bad. Any gauze? Well, we're at the building where Mary worked. And I imagine they've long since packed up and left. And they never really did get around to explaining exactly what a television station was doing in a downtown office building. But, well, maybe somewhere here they've got a plaque, a memorial to old WJM. Let's see what we've got.
We've got lawyers, accountants, lawyers, accountants for lawyers,
Ah! TV Guide magazine. A coincidence? I think not. Cool. Way cool. Whoa! A veritable cornucopia, a cavalcade of TV greats. And there's the brightest star in the firmament herself, Mary. How you doing, kid? And Lou had a 17th century word processor. Oh, this is great, this is great. Spiritually, it's right. Spiritually, it reeks of Mary. It's perfect. And those would be the windows where she looked out when she was working every day. Those would be the windows.
The show was filmed in Hollywood in front of a live audience.
Well, if they hadn't filmed it in Hollywood in front of a live audience, those would have been the windows. Well, this is right. If the Mariosity of this place holds, and I think it's going to, we're going to see behind any of those doors, we'll see a sensitive, balding guy. We'll see a deep-voiced, obsequious guy with silver hair. We'll see a gruff but lovable boss who's big with a black tie. I know they're here. Let's go find them. I kind of feel like Geraldo. I know I'm right about this.
It was only later, when I consulted a statistical analysis of office workers, that I discovered that each place of business has, on the average, 2.3 balding sensitive men, 4.8 silver-haired, deep-voiced, obsequious men, and 3.1 gruff but lovable men with crudely knotted ties. At the time, of course, I thought I'd stumbled onto something. But they were understanding about my reasons for my visit and helped me to come to terms with the fact that there were no traces of Mary left. Bruised but not discouraged, I was still haunted by the specter of that scowling woman behind Mary. Who was she? I had to know. Following an anonymous tip, and the need for a good stiff drink, I found a German bar owner named Marlene who claimed that she, as an aspiring actress, had won out over heavy competition to get that part.
Originally, I was to have been this older friend of Mary's who tells her not to go throwing hats in the street. It's silly. But it was cut.
She was a little bitter about the experience, which certainly explained the scowl, but still, she was more than happy to do that face for us. It was free to anyone after $50 worth of pull tabs, actually. I couldn't believe it. She looked exactly the same. I mean, after all these years, she showed absolutely no signs of artistic growth. I mean, Mary had gone on to do movies and at least 27 other TV series, but Marlene was still trading on past glories. Maybe I should have been clued in by the name of the place, which was the Marlene Who Stood and Scowled Behind Mary Bar and Grill. I don't know. The whole thing just, it wasn't working out. After all this time, I was still no closer to finding the true meaning of Mary than I was when I set out. It was enough to make a man drink twice his body weight in cheap beer. Hey, wait a minute. What scene does that line go with?
Love is all around. No, he was the one, and he was one of the original Crickets. Okay, and the Crickets were led by Buddy Holly.
Right.
And he died on the way home to Fargo, which is my hometown. And that was Sonny Curtis, who didn't die, but he was one of them. And if you understand that, then you start to see why the program is so important to me.
Yeah, I can...
You know, it all comes down to that hat.
The hat?
When I was in high school, I had a flame, a girlfriend. Whoa. And she was a thing of such exuberance, of such joie de vivre, and she, one day on a fine spring morning, just took off her hat and threw it up in the air out of just love of life.
Wow. So you were really, really moved by that.
I've never been so embarrassed for anybody in my life.
Mary could do it. That was the thing. Mary could do it. And if you don't understand that about Mary, you don't understand anything, and I don't even know why I'm talking to you. Mary, if you're out there, I love you. I love your spunk. I love your wit. I love your legs. Both of them. I'm on a search for you here, Mary. I'm finding out what you mean to me. You don't know me. I don't know me, but I know that out of all, in television, out of all the cathode ray tubes in the land, you had to walk into mine. Here's looking towards you, kid.
Bob, I
Play it, Lou.
think we have enough.
Played it for her, Lou. You can play it for me.
Scratch Goldberg. He's been selling hats on this corner for 10 years.
Okay, I mean, I'll do it, but I don't want to do it.
Why?
Look, there's nothing wrong with wanting to throw your hat with Mary did. It's the notion of making a buck off.
Yeah, I understand what you're
Damn
saying,
it,
but
right
the
here.
guy's a really good interview, okay? And it'll take a couple minutes. I think it's really going to...
It's commercialization of Mary. It's trivializing
It's
Mary.
really going to add to the show. Here, can you stand right here? This is where you want him, Bob?
Yeah, that's good.
Wash your head. Take your glasses.
What's my hair look?
You look great. Okay, just give it a try. I think it's going to be good.
Okay, just tell me when.
Anytime.
Exuberance, spunk, spirit, joie de vivre, those were the things about Mary that we loved the most. And it was here, on this street corner, on a wintry afternoon, that Mary made that gesture that etched her forever in the hearts of millions.
Okay.
That was great.
Good.
Okay, got your deposit, you signed the waiver, you got your hat.
Yep.
Right, there's next painted right over there on the sidewalk, that's where you stand.
Okay. Which way was she facing?
That way. Hey, and watch the light, will you?
I give you Mr. Scratch Belfry, an apparently shameless entrepreneur who ekes out a meager living here in the corner of the Nicollet Mall, renting hats to people who want to toss them like Mary did. Mr. Belfry, a couple questions, you don't mind. Why are you doing this?
Figured I could make a buck at it.
Yes, well, no surprise, really. Well, tell me, did you tap into a pre-existing need for this, or did you create a market all by yourself?
What?
Well, let me put it in primeval English for you, then. How did you get started?
Oh, well, I used to have a food cart on this corner. Yogurt, tofu, sprouts, health food.
Yeah.
But they kept shutting me down, so I figured I'd give this a try. Ain't no hat inspectors in this business, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Hey! I said to watch the light. Oh, jeez. There goes the premiums right to the roof.
But, I mean, you got a lot of people come through. Business is good?
Business was good. So good now I got company. Hey, why don't you find another corner to work, huh?
Hey, free enterprise, man. Cheaper prices and better hats. That's what
better hats. I got the original.
Go on.
Toss a hat just like Mary. Got the original right here.
What?
Hey, you know, I'm thinking about adding video rental.
Oh, yeah.
Suntanning booths, they're not going to go so well in this corner, so I figured I'd give that a try. What do you think?
Bound to make millions. What kind of people come through and rent the hats?
Well, people who can't separate fantasy from reality.
Do you ever watch old Mare on TV yourself?
Nah, wrestling's on.
You know, I got to toss the hat in. I got to give it a try. But thanks. Look,
yeah, don't forget to sign the waiver.
I got to go through that. I got it.
Okay.
$10, kick it up. How you doing, champ? You gonna toss a hat? $10. Gotta wait just a second. Yeah, you better sign the waiver here, right? Oh, great.
Mary!
I gotta get it clean for Mary. Make it clean for Mary. Mary's the kind of woman you think have to be clean for. She's just that kind of a girl. It's filthy. It's filthy. Clean for Mary. I'm coming, Mother.
Gonna make it after all. You're not gonna make it after all. You're not gonna make it after all.
No!
Dr. Torts,
Yes.
surgery. He's going to make it after all.
Oh. Man, am I glad you guys are here. I just had the worst nightmare.
We know. Believe me. The special effects alone are gonna bust the budget.
James, I'm really sorry we couldn't get your private room.
He's got to show up. The guy has to eat lunch, and he works at either that building or this one. Oh, there he is, James. Great. We've been looking all over for you.
What do you want?
We need an ending for the show.
You got an ending. You got everything you need. You got the house here where she works, where she threw her meat. You got Marlene. Marlene's the end of the credits. She's the end of the show.
Yeah, I know, but at the Marlene scene, you just walk out of the bar.
Yeah, it hurts.
I know, but we need a conclusion.
Oh, you want the grand summing statement?
Yeah.
Okay. We went looking for Mary Tyler Moore, and I got hit by a car. How about that? That about sums it up.
Not...
You know, I had a little bit more than my bones shed. I had a few illusions hurt on that thing. Celebrities aren't what I thought they were. All right, I mean, let's just leave it at that. They're not they don't mean anything to a particular town. They just come in, they do their stuff. We think they mean something, but they don't. Then they leave. And I'm not going to get attached to a celebrity again.
You've been gone. Hello. Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome to a Prairie Home companion. Coming to you live from the World Theater in downtown St. Paul, Minnesota. Presented every Saturday night this time by
From Mary to Gary. I mean, Perky's okay, but Shy, now that's deep. Excuse me, can you tell me how to get to the World Theater from here? I understand it's somewhere around here.